Hello, we're here with Steve Hackett. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, lovely to be here. Thank you.
How are you?
Yeah, very good. Thanks. Yeah.
So firstly, what got you playing guitar, and did you play any other instruments, or was it mainly guitar you focused on?
Well, my dad played a number of instruments, and so I first took up harmonica. That was his influence. From the age of 2, I was trying to play the harmonica. So, it really started with him. So mouth organ first of all, and then when I was about 12, a mere 8 years later, I started getting interested in guitar, buying guitar records, and it was electric guitar first of all, and then I got interested in all sorts of types of guitar, including classical guitar and Spanish and 12-string and a lot of different styles of things.
Nice. Did you find that you were naturally talented at playing guitar, or did you have quite a lot of lessons, or was it self-taught?
No, I was self-taught, and that was important for me, just the feeling of discovering things rather than being taught them. So I liked to make my own mistakes, and I'm still making mistakes and blundering through them, and I come up the other side and understand why things are done a certain way. That's been my preferred way of doing it, because the guitar was always a kind of symbol of freedom to me, a kind of alternative to school. But since then, I guess every other guitarist in the world has been my guitar teacher. That's how I see it. I've always learned from everyone else.
Yeah, gives you a lot of musical freedom, I guess, in a certain way.
I do love musical freedom and all types of music.
So your first recording work came in 1970 with the band Quiet World,
That's
and you
right.
worked with your brother on that.
Yeah.
How was that?
Well, the band Quiet World was formed by 3 guys who'd grown up mainly in South Africa. Although they were English, they came back to England as young guys, and they advertised for a guitarist. They already had a record deal with Pi Records. Pi doesn't exist anymore, but the same label had John McLaughlin, Mungo Jerry, various other acts. They wanted to have album success. I mean, ironically, of course, it was Mungo Jerry that was the big hit for them, with a track called In the Summertime. So they didn't have that label, the Dawn label, didn't have any album success. But that was about a year before I met Genesis and joined them.
So how did that happen, the whole Genesis thing? Did you have to audition, or did they approach you?
Back in the day, there was an all-powerful musical paper called Melody Maker, and many British bands were formed from the back pages of that. People used to advertise themselves, and I did about 5 years of ads. It was a very long kind of not quite an apprenticeship, but I was always advertising myself as different things. Sometimes I'd advertise myself as a blues harmonica player. Other times it would be electric guitarist, and gradually over time the wording of the ad got refined, and I ended up with some very idealistic kind of stuff, and that's what prompted Peter Gabriel to give me a call.
How would you describe those Genesis days, and what album are you the most proud of?
The early Genesis days were extremely rewarding in a way. I'm searching for the right word. Very inspirational guys, very gifted at many things. Often mainly at writing, and so I would always be blown away with the ideas that the other guys would bring to the band. And at first I was very shy introducing my ideas to the band, but I realized that if I didn't blow my own trumpet, the ideas wouldn't get used. And so I loved the early work of the band, believe me. And then I did a solo thing in 1975, the first one. I had a couple of the guys from the band helping me with it, and that was Phil Collins and Michael Rutherford.
Was it a difficult decision to go solo?
Well, it was a difficult decision, but I felt that for me, I already did an album when I was a part of the band, and that took off. So, that gave me a taste of a kind of musical freedom that I couldn't have within the band. Sure. And that's what prompted me to leave, really.
Yeah. Obviously, it's different when you're with a band or a group. Quite different, the musical processes and creating songs, to how you would look with a solo career.
Yes.
So I wouldn't say which one would you prefer, but what would be your better choice? Do you like being a solo artist, or the pros and cons kind of thing?
Well, I think the pros and cons are the fact that, here's me, a mature, plank spanker by now, and, but in the early days, of course, we were expanding an audience that got very large indeed, over the course of 8 albums or so. And so, you've got the razzmatazz that goes with that. It's very nice to play to 20,000 people every night. Yeah. On the other hand, it's very nice, and to be able to have all the ideas that you have of the imagination, it's important that those brain children are not stillborn.
Yeah.
So if you're ambitious for the work itself, I think, you know, music, and love of music, it's its own currency. So for me, it's not about the numbers that I sell. It's the fact that I do that to a smaller audience, as everyone plays to a smaller audience in the music business these days. But the people that enjoy that, I think, enjoy that deeply and realise why I do it. And they realise I'm absolutely nuts about it still. So.
Yeah. You've had a career for about 45 years. How has your style progressed over those years?
Well, I think I've always pushed myself technically to be able to do things that I couldn't do yesterday, for instance. So that's taken me through a lot of styles, and I got interested in doing fingerstyle playing quite early on. And just recently, for instance, I've been trying to do some flamenco stuff. And that stuff is unfamiliar to me, so even if you've done classical guitar work, the techniques that are employed in that are still a bit of a mystery to me, but that's all the more reason to want to get some kind of authenticity when doing it.
Any plans for a next solo album, or are you just concentrating on touring?
Well, no, I've been doing a lot of touring, but I'm 2 tracks into a new album of original stuff, so
Okay.
I've got that under my belt now. There's 2 tracks that are practically finished, you know, a little bit of icing on the cake, then they're done, and so it's nice to be able to start a new thing. Plenty of guitar work on it, surprisingly for a guitarist.
Mom's a massive fan of Genesis and your work, and she's feeling pretty ill this week, so I was just wondering if it'd make her life if you just have a quick one minute chat with her.
What's her name?
Tyra.
Tyra, okay.
Tyra.
On
Yeah,
phone,
I'll put her on a loudspeaker.
Okay, right.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Is that Tyra?
Yes, it is.
It's
Hello?
Steve Hackett here.
Oh, hello. Hi.
Hi. I think I might be sitting here with your son, I've got a feeling,
Oh, great.
who says you're not very well this week, so
No.
hope you feel much better.
Thank you. That's great. Is he treating you well?
He is treating me well, yes.
Good, good.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. I'm sorry you can't be here yourself, but there you are.
No, that's a shame. That's a shame. But I've loved your music, always.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah. So I'm really pleased that he's managed to get to meet you.
Yeah, he has,
Great.
yeah. Yeah, we're in the middle of an interview here. In fact, I'm supposed to be on stage in about 2 minutes, so I've got to...
Yeah, better go now.
I know, it's there you go. Lovely to talk to you.
Thank you so much.
You too. Thanks
Okay.
very much.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
all the best.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye.
That was pretty crazy.